Two teenagers in Waupaca and Portage counties pleading not guilty to charges related to alleged deer and raccoon poaching this week. 18-year-old Ian Johnson and 17-year-old Landon Fuse each face misdemeanor counts, including hunting during a closed season and illegally shining animals. A third suspect, 18-year-old Ethan Lashua, previously pleaded not guilty and is due back in court on Friday. As we reported, this case began last September after reports of gunshots on a tip about a red car shooting a deer. Fuse admitted to shooting up to at least 15 deer and numerous raccoons since last spring. Johnson admitted to shooting at raccoons. They're both due back in court next month.